what's happening on in the crypto markets. Absolutely a great day. But if you guys don't know, I'm basically doing a streaming challenge where I'm just starting to trade with $50 on 2bit, and we're gonna review what actually happened today, which is a pretty interesting thought if you ask me. So yeah, I had some future bonus. Again, this challenge also includes future bonuses, although I never like to do them. And we woke up to 5%. So 5% is a pretty nice return if you ask me. It is $1 basically given to me from the exchange for these trades, which is fantastic, right? It's good news overall. But we did see the markets go down. I said the $2 is going to be the bottom, and that's exactly what happened in this price point. The technical indicators right now are pretty crazy. But yeah, it's pretty clear that the trend line of XRP right now is going upwards. So important factor here, a lot of people not considering that, is XRP right now is still very bullish. Somehow whales are still buying it and selling it. They're making their money. And it's a pretty good chance as well. So happy about that. We made a trade, we won. But there's another thing that you guys don't know about. And that is a trading bot we opened yesterday. That's another part of XRP, basically, that a lot of people did not talk about. So let us check right now what happened with the trading bot. We go over here. XRP has been steadily climbing up to 1.5, which is absolutely amazing. Look at this, 1.4% price change. It's not enough. It's just not enough. The prices are nothing too scary, but it's definitely a very nice start at that point, if you ask me. So pretty good. So $5 up here. XRP still hit 220, so I'm gonna keep this position open. It's gonna close in about 2 hours because it's just a bonus, and we're gonna do an $11 challenge. So this is gonna be a challenge. So this is a pretty good update I have for XRP. And yeah, it seems like we could further get to an uptrend at that point. So I'm going to turn off the Ichimoku cloud because it confuses a lot of people. When you look at these prices, it can confuse you. It can you just have to delete all the mess, all the data you have. Sometimes it's not going to help you, right? So just go over here and delete all of this. And that's it. And now we have the pure graph, right, of what exactly is going on. So if XRP go to 185, this would be absolutely terrible. But I said that the lowest I think XRP is going to go in the following days is 1.87. So obviously, it does not seem that we are even close to that point to see XRP crashing below that. But yeah, let us check what the trading bot is, because we're going to do a $10 challenge. So that's another thing. Futures grid, trading bot square. I'm trading on 2bit, guys. That's the position I have open. So you have the pretty clear idea of what's happening. XRP. So let us check what the trading bot did. And I'm actually very happy with it. If you don't know what happened, is I was saying that the XRP is going to stop out at $1, $3. I mean, it's going to start at $2, right? And we went from $2, we went to 2.4. But I guess this was enough for the trading bot because it made it be $5 of total profit and loss. And the grid profit is 44 cents. So yeah, obviously when the markets go up, they're absolutely amazing, these bots. If you were to think that we are going to short, these trading bots are amazing too. That's why I love them on 2bit. That's why I love them on the website, because the little thing is they are trading for me. I don't have to set up any trades. I can sit here and wait. And these bots probably know when XRP is going to go down and when it's going to go up. So right now, look at this. If we make the price analysis over here, I made a price analysis way past few days ago, like 5 days ago. And it's still yet following exactly as I predicted. Look, even I made some patterns here, and we saw the exact same patterns. Does this mean I'm a genius? No, it just means I was very lucky with these price predictions. Because look at this. The price predictions I did here went way ahead. I told you guys that $2 is going to be the possible scenario. Like $2, 1.87, that's going to be the lowest it goes. And bam, look, this trading bot made me $4 overnight. And that's something I'm doing on my platform, you know, itself. So a lot of people have made money with these trading bots, and that's the good part. Is going to be the possible. So this is what I like to see. Smash that like button, guys, by the way. If you want to feed me, if you want to pay for my meals, that's the way to do it. So what's next for this trading bot is we got to check its stats over here. So let me check where exactly the trading bot is going to go next. Details. We're going to check what it does and can it, you know, what's next for XRP. So yeah, it's trying to push upwards. I'm kind of worried because it's still like XRP is still a bit bearish. This is the bad part. It's still bearish, but it's going further downtrend since July 2025. So if I open a short from 366, if I just new trading and I open a short here, I mean, this trading bot would make me like 1,000% returns. Again, these are not guaranteed. This is very risky. Trading bots are risky. You need to understand trading. So this is not like free money. But a 10% return. Now imagine if, you know, from my challenge, $50 account challenge that I'm doing right now, if I went from, you know, if I have $10,000 and I have a $100 trading bot, this would be already $10 in a single day. And that's why I love crypto. The worst part though is I'm doing leverage right now. So I'm basically borrowing some money from the exchange because it's such a small price point. So everything we lost yesterday because I didn't know how to trade properly is we basically made it back today. $4.5, 33% profit. So the bot basically made 33%, right? You can see P&L, 33%. Absolutely amazing that we're seeing something like that. Could be because of the rise of ETFs, but I personally think why it went up that much is just because the new data came in for XRP. So I feel like that the next plan is I will stop this pot at some point because I don't want to have this bot like destroy me, absolutely destroy me, and I wake up and XRP is like 1.9. That would be devastating. But a 10% return is actually pretty nice here. It would be, I think I opened it, what, yesterday? So 10%, and we opened it exactly here. And it just went up 4 cents. So yeah, it's gonna close some longs. It's gonna keep selling it until 2.4, as I told you guys. And it's gonna start buying at 1.92. So between these two ranges, it's gonna be absolutely perfect. And it still has a lot to sell. So it's basically mining here right now. This is absolutely amazing, the grid quantity it's done. And in the future, we can open some more. We can open for different cryptos. Anyway, also 2bit link in the description below if you guys want to get started trading. I'm doing a massive bonus right now with giving XRP viewers free XRP for trading volume. I know it's only for 57 days, but a lot of guys don't know about this one. A lot of guys haven't seen that you can sign up in the link in the description below. This is an exclusive offer. It's not like every exchange is offering this. I asked the exchange and we partnered up to work on this. And yeah, this is what I like to see. We're seeing, you know, the futures bot doing well with XRP's lowest price point at $4. And then we're seeing also the other trade absolutely bullish. Let's check that. The other trade should be what, about $1, and I'm gonna close it soon because it just doesn't feel fair because it's the part of like a bonus trade. So it's just on top of that $1 can be basically like food. It can feed you for a day, like $5. It's absolutely amazing, the power of crypto. So what's happening next for XRP, in my honest opinion, is we are gonna be focusing on a bit of trades, like shorter trades. And then we're going to see also where we can go from here. There's a lot of plans with XRP. I mean, people are trying to push it back to 2.65, 2.6, but a lot of these whales are rejecting it at that point. A lot of these whales are in fact selling, and it's a scary thought to have. So I'm still very excited on that. But yeah, overall, my sentiment is I said I was bearish on XRP, but after seeing, you know, it does seem like a lot of these whales are just waiting for the next bull run, for the next price point. They're just selling at a loss. So yeah. So let us check this. Ripple XRP Vanguard just made XRP ETF unstoppable. So the positions I'm making for my XRP up next is we're going to open along with 25x leverage because we only have about $10. The maximum our position is going to be is, you know, 5% like stop loss, and we can just open a $1 trade. So let us see over here what's possible. But a $1 trade basically means we're like opening a $50 trade with a 50x leverage. So we can go over here, open a long, and go from there. So the order should be open in that sense. And let's check this. Vanguard just made the XRP ETF unstoppable.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Bullwinkle Blueprint. Hopefully all y'all are having an incredible day. It's Tuesday, but you know what? We're creeping through this week. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit that thumbs up button. These next few months in crypto, I'm telling you, and
like these ETFs is the reason why I also open position. Like at my price action, we're opening at least some sort of a 4-hour time frame. We're opening some support levels. Like it's building up. Like we saw a further downtrend, but it's keeping above 2.20 now, not just 2.54. Yes, we saw a huge drop here, but look how it stopped at 1.87. That's a pretty strong thing a lot of people don't talk about. Stopping at 1.87 and just like going further and further ahead definitely at least tells you something. At least tells you that we have not given up yet.
I'm gonna keep telling you, they are going to be insane.
So yeah, my position is open now.
The news we have lined up is just wow. Vanguard. Yes, the same Vanguard that swore up and down they would never touch crypto. Well, they just opened the floodgate.
I mean, that would be huge. If we got a Vanguard ETF, this would be one of the bigger news.
It's for XRP. That's right. This move doesn't change the game, folks. It traps BlackRock into a corner. And
again, BlackRock has the most volume.
Forces a full-out blown institutional arms race. The exact kind of race we wanted to see. Get ready for mega money to be throwing around. Because BlackRock, VanEck, Fidelity, they're all about to make it rain on you. What just happened is way bigger than people realize, and you are about to see why. And we are going to start right here, xrprightnow.com. We got to back up. Don't even ask me what happened. I'll just tell you. Well, Rip was in there messing around. I tried to create a subdomain to move the ETF stuff to and keep the news separate. Yeah, I guess I didn't have my coffee because I looked on the wrong page and I hit delete and I deleted everything from the news website. So I spent a good 8 hours yesterday restoring and bringing it all back, letting have backups. Anyways, here we are, folks. I should have the ETF page up and running today as well. Stay tuned and hang with me.
Seems like there's a big part for ETFs. Maybe I should make an ETF page. And look at this trade we opened. It's like up 2% now. Obviously, the issue is like the 2% we have is also 2 cents to take profit, so it's hard to scalp this. But we're going on a pretty decent path with the XRP right now. Yes, it's not going to stay above $3. But if we can see like to June 2025, maybe we're going to have a last mini rally before a big drop in the bears. That would be amazing. Like just a small pump. It doesn't even have to be $4 at this point. I don't believe it's going to be happening, but I mean, it just makes sense to go at least, you know, to $3.
But as we come over here, we see the article that came out earlier this morning. Vanguard now offers XRP to its clients. That's right. Here's the article. Let's talk about this.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense to them. I'm still not sure why BlackRock is not doing it. It's a lot of trading volume for them.
So Vanguard, the fortress of old school conservative finance, they are quietly letting their clients access the Bitwise XRP ETF. That's right. And it starts today. This is the same exact firm that blocked Bitcoin ETFs on day one. I want you just to remember that. The same firm that publicly said crypto had no place in a traditional portfolio.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of the people buying are like conservative. They don't want to hold it.
And yet, well, here we are. Why is this huge? It's simple, folks. Because Vanguard isn't some random brokerage. They're the second largest asset manager on the planet. When they move, the entire financial system feels it. And when
look, it's pretty clear crypto is becoming like XRP is here to stay. It's not gonna just like disappear one day. That's the most important factor. I mean, yes, it could drop to 1.5, but everyone mentioning stock market is also mentioning crypto at this point.
they budge even slightly, it forces every competitor, including BlackRock, to adjust. Here's the real play here, all right? Vanguard didn't support XRP. They didn't endorse crypto, but they did something even more telling. They allowed access. That means that client demand is now so loud, so persistent, and so profitable that even Vanguard couldn't ignore it anymore. And that directly puts pressure on BlackRock. Because you know what? If Vanguard's clients can buy XRP, guess who can afford to be left behind in the next wave of flows? Exactly, folks. This is the start of the institutional FOMO cycle.
We need BlackRock if we ever want to get close to XRP Bitcoins. That's what I was saying in June 2025. I was literally saying that to everyone in June 2025. If we don't get BlackRock, it's going to be hard to get a big volume.
Lined this up over the years. Institution cycle this year. Everyone who's ever been on a one-on-one call with me, I've been telling you this exact same thing. And utility cycle in the next. Well, the next run, I should say. Which brings us over to this. Oh, no. Man, I hate when they go on TV and people make recordings and they catch them saying stuff. This is Vanguard CEO. Yeah, that's him. On your screen. Want to know what makes this crazy? Publicly calling Bitcoin not a store of value. That's right. Saying it doesn't belong in a long-term portfolio. And then all of a sudden you're quietly just letting your clients buy crypto ETF anyways. You know what that is, everyone? That's what happens when institutions realize they're about to miss a generational money flow. They talk tough publicly, right? But behind the scenes, the boardroom...
Long-term portfolio, I mean, if you just offer like people a way to buy, who cares? So that's the thing. You can just offer people, and you like, why are they making decisions like for their clients? Like, are they going to include them in portfolio and make people buy it? That would be amazing for the prices though. Don't get me wrong, but I just can't see this.
It is panicking. Like, okay, fine, just give them access. Don't make us look like clowns when XRP and Bitcoin runs. Listen.
Spot Bitcoin ETFs. Question came in, hey, we know you're not offering one. Have you changed your mind? What would it take for you to change your mind? We don't plan to, and we're not going to change our minds around this unless the asset class changes. Yep. Why? First of all, we don't believe it belongs. Like a Bitcoin ETF belongs in a long-term portfolio. Someone's saving for their retirement. It's a speculative asset.
That's exactly it.
And the funds that we offer invest in asset classes that actually have underlying cash flow. So, like we mentioned stocks, you're buying the forward earnings of a company.
That's right.
And that bond, right,
has coupon and principal.
I mean, Vanguard, if you're not going to offer it, like the thing is, others will.
Yeah, you're going to pay me back and you're going to pay me something for lending you the money.
Exactly.
Right? So they both can be valued. And that's, for us, we understand why they would rise up in a portfolio and the role they will play, and we can model them. Something like Bitcoin is just too volatile, and it's not a store of value. It hasn't been. And it's very volatile. When stocks got hammered in recent crises, Bitcoin went right with them. And so it is speculative, really tough to think about how it belongs in a long-term portfolio.
That's the thing. We wait here for like XRP to go back up to 2.17, 2.19. I think it could go at least to 2.9 here. It just shows why I have a positive trade open. It makes great sense. Like this is it shows you that the bulls are starting to push out, at least they want to push out and go forward and have a, attack on it. Like they want to push the prices up. It makes sense with the ETFs opening. It would be bullish, but it's not going to affect the prices that much. Like again, if ETFs get accepted, you can bet that some whale is going to like pump $2 already.
To get an update from this guy. I would love it.
I mean, that would be great. Look at XRP right now. Sits at $2, but the whales are starting to push it above $2. Like remember when XRP was 50 cents? Bam, everybody wants to buy it.
This is how it always happens though, folks. We know that. They deny it, they resist it, and then they bet that
it's just too much money for them not to list the BlackRock XRP ETFs. It's just too much money.
Need when the liquidity and the demand is too big to ignore. Remember, if the second largest asset manager on earth cracks, the rest are going to follow. They have to follow. Unless you're no one's gonna catch up to them, right? They were gonna dominate renting movies. Netflix was like, well, I don't think people really want to rent. We're just gonna start streaming and charging people. Blockbuster was like, yo, okay, good luck. Blockbuster didn't adopt, and
that's why you have to do this stuff. Like you gotta go first thing because they're gonna get left behind. And look, this is a pretty big thing. Vanguard is like the second biggest to BlackRock, and you can see obviously a lot of these are, way bigger than we expect. Like the bulls are hitting out.
I got you. I think it's the Rex. Well, XRPI, yeah. And then no, that's Pro Shares. Excuse me. And then you got your Rex as well, just sitting there under non-Vanguard funds in the digital asset category. It's not a glitch, folks. It's not an accident. This is a back-end shift and a green light for a brand new asset class. Platforms don't casually add new categories, folks, unless they expect big flows. And once $1 trillion firm opens the pipe, guess what? Every other major institution has to follow, or they risk losing assets to competitors. This is how crypto becomes unavoidable. I'm sorry to say it. It's true. It's not through headlines, but through the platform availability. And once it's
like, just give the people the option to buy,
available, well, guess what? The masses roll in. Now, folks, if you're not a part of my free newsletter yet, what are you doing?
So yeah, it tells you the pretty clear idea of what's happening. Breaking mass, Fed liquidity rejection, all of that. It's looking good. It's really looking good, at least for now. Someone massive just went all in on XRP. Did we just get a new XRP whale? Because I did see a massive buy, an uptrend here from 1.87 to $2. And we never went to 187. So this is the important factor. We need whales.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Bullwinkle Blueprint. Hopefully all of you are having an incredible day, and hopefully your day's over. You're driving home from the old 9 to 5. Look, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, and make sure you are following, because I'm telling you, these next few months in crypto are gonna be insane. Because today's story, it's not a rumor. It is not speculation. It is a move that is happening right under the market's nose.
The whales are buying secretly at 1.87. If you check the trade books, I'm going to show you the trade books on 2bit, guys. Look at these trades. The order book for 2bit right now is actually pretty good. Like, a lot of these whales have been slowly buying XRP. 750,000 are selling, but a lot of them 560K buying. So it tells you a pretty clear idea of what's
and
happening.
The people paying attention, they're already connecting the dots. Someone massive just went all in on XRP. And the timing, it couldn't be any better. And it's not an accident, folks. We're going to break this down piece by piece, and we're starting with the hammer right here. Right off the bat, this is one of those not fluff headlines. People think, oh, this is fluff. I don't really understand it. Well, you're going to understand it, Tom. I'm done with it because this is big. This is Singapore. One of the strictest, cleanest, most globally respected financial regulators on the planet. Expanding Ripple's.
I mean, I'm not too sure if a whale bought in here. It makes absolutely no sense. Like, the leak code is the most important standard digital global identifier. So, what? I mean, we gotta look at the data. You can say someone went all in, right? But if there's no data to support it, it's just that. It's just like empty space. So you can see here on his bullish call saying Bitcoin could not smash. Like a lot of these news you're getting here. So much of this news you're getting here. We're already seeing, right? It's already priced in. And I used to always watch news. I always used to watch content. But the issue with this I have is it just already came out. Unless something crazy happens that not even the biggest whales expect. It's absolutely like a nothing burger. So that's why I have been focusing on my content more on the data itself, more on the trades. Because once you understand what these whales are doing, what they're buying, then you're going to see that this is all priced in. This is like the whales just working their magic. Even since the SEC era, we have been having the same scenario happening now for Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum for the last 5 years.
The monster under your bed. Japan's yield spikes. Your carry trade unwinds. Trillions, in leveraged global positions.
Look at this. Look at this data. 6K sold, 1.7K bought, 4K bought. You know, right now you can clearly see with the data we have, all the data, that whales are buying and whales are selling. They're trying to make money on the market. Look, even me, I'm up 6% on my last trade that I opened with you guys. I'm going to keep it open because I feel like XRP is going to go to 2.10. I have a take profit at $1.52, but that's how I'm going to do it day by day. I'm going to show up. I'm going to grind. I'm going to check the data that the whales left us, and we're going to see what happens.
Are forced to dump. Look, when we look at this, all of this funnels into December 18th. The Bank of Japan's decision. If they hike, liquidity drains. Bitcoin's going to retest about 75,000, exactly the same levels where it started its move upward. If they pause, we get a violent short squeeze straight back towards six figures. And during your liquidity...
Look at this position, 8.8% gains. We're still not closing it. Because I can see the data here. I can understand what the XRP whales are buying. Once you understand that this, what we have right now, the news we have, correlates with the data over here, it makes so much more sense. Look, I'm 20%. While we were watching this video, I'm 10% up. So 10% up because I understand, I'm starting to understand what's going on. I'm literally understanding more than if I watched 100 of these videos. That's the problem here.
Small cast, oversold plays, underpriced charts, and yes, crypto. April to May 2026 or even late 2026. That's your projected window. The moment where liquidity floods back into the exact sectors that got punished the hardest. Here's the point. If you know a rotation...
An absolute spike just happened. I'm up 15% on the trade itself. Because of the whales, like ETF news and stuff like that. The whales buy way before that. But this is definitely good news overall.
Respected financial regulators on the planet. expanding Ripple's major payment institutional license. Now, after reading this, my first reaction to it, this is regulatory greenlighting at the highest level possible. Not a sandbox, not a trial, a fully licensed end-to-end payments operation in one of the biggest global hubs for cross-border.
This is the thing. I think a lot of this like operations we have, they're not really expanding XRP right now. Started to buy and wanting to get back on the market because they expect another smaller pump.
Money movement. Why does it matter? It's simple. For years, the XRP community talked about real-world utility, corridors, institutional rails, and this is what it looks like when the narrative becomes reality. Singapore doesn't hand these things out like coupons, folks. This signals, I should say, serious throughput that is coming. This signals approval expands RippleNet's reach. It tightens the global settlement loop, and yes, it quietly strengthens the foundation for something much larger. Momentum begins here, and here's the Ripple Insights article coming out December 1st, talking about the key benefits of the Ripple payment system, talking about obviously your digital ledger.
I mean, cool, but we were talking about this, even the price was $2. We've been talking about this when the price was 3.66. You know, I'll keep my trade open, I'll listen to the news, I'll eat the cereal, but it really needs like a big boost in order to make it a game changer at this point. So I'm just wondering, where are we gonna go from here? And the answer is obviously a small uptrend. That's my prediction. Look, I'm 12% up on this trade as I started this video. It's very obvious that the bulls are pushing out higher. So you can just wait and see what happens. Maybe it's going to be, you know, 1.15, 2.11. That's the prices I'm waiting for. But if we get to these prices, right, this would be a perfect momentum. Now, there's two possible scenarios here. We're now at 2.4. My XRP bot and whatever it is actually went, you know, big. So that's good. It made some profit. We're making trades, we're making profit, we're trusting the process. But there's two possible scenarios. Either XRP gets a small push to 2.4, 2.5. This is the first scenario. So 2.5 are the key areas here. That's the first one. The second push to 2.4, what's happening with my internet? Okay, we're live. That's good. We're absolutely live, so that's good. And that's pretty much the important factor we have right now is, yeah, we're pushing 1.86 or 2.6. So we could be retesting back to a smaller price. And then we could start a bear market. You know, this is definitely possible, like a bear market starting. But so far, my trades, which I have opened a trade on 2bit, guys, link in the description below if you guys want to get joined. I did do an XRP competition there. I'll leave a link in the description below anyway. You can get up to 2,500 XRP for free if you do a lot of trading volume. If you're a big whale, join me up, you know, and click the link in the description below. And you can get a free bonus as well. Just like for signing up, you get a free bonus. But that stuff aside, let's actually focus on the core point here and where we go from here. So it seems pretty clear that, you know, everyone wants the BlackRock listing, but nothing, like the whales still haven't bought BlackRock yet.
Today,
so, BlackRock has not been bought out yet, and the whales, like if we get a BlackRock listing, this would immediately push us to $2.2.
End of QT with you guys. As many of you know, quantitative tightening ended today, December 1st, and the question I've been seeing the most is what's going to follow for XRP. And so, for the first time ever, I'm going to be using some new tools and a deep dive analysis to bring you guys the answers that you all deserve to know. So the first thing I want to talk about are moving averages, because right now something undeniable is happening. But first, I got to show you guys what's happened every single time previously. Basically, every single previous XRP and Bitcoin bear market has been marked by the price of these assets going below the 50-week SMA. Now, I'll first show you XRP right here. As we can clearly see back here in the fourth month of 2018, we actually dipped right below the moving average right here. And
so yeah, that was what 2018. That data could be very old at this point. My position is still open at 12% profit. So I'm just going to keep it open for now, but pretty cool like to see some data when XRP was still under a lawsuit. So
following that,
trading while you have someone super bullish saying big guy XRP, how does it help? It doesn't really. The reason why I'm doing it, the reason why I'm making these videos is because I'm waiting for a trade and I'm looking at a data that could be, and I'm trying to find some indicators here. I should actually be watching proper content. But something like this, I like to watch data like this. You know, something like this instead of like bullish news or ETFs or BlackRock, I like to actually see what's happening with the Bitcoin price and 50-week SMA.
To around 28 cents, and we did not.
So yeah, it's up 15%, but I'm just going to keep it open for another 30, 50 minutes. Because yeah, we're building, if we look at the 5-minute time frames over here. So let me just load up for this. It's taking some time for some reason. If you look at the like 1-minute time frame, if you skip these order books, if you close this down, all this data, if you just look at the core charts, again, for some reason it's not loading, but what I'm guessing it's doing, it's building up higher lows and basically higher highs. So that's something that it should be doing on the like 1-minute chart. Yeah, look at that. It like, you know, some people took profit and now it's going shortly up.
Crossed that level for quite some time. This once again happened right here in 2021. This break of the moving average was a lot cleaner because the crypto market was a lot more established at this time. On the 26th of December 2021, we broke below the 50-week SMA, and then we very quickly bottomed out in the bear market, and then eventually we broke above, and that was the next bull market. Fast forward to today. As of this date right here, the 26th of October, we broke below the 50-week SMA, and since then, we have been on what many people have been describing as a free fall for XRP. History is likely to repeat itself. I do think that, yes, much like what happened back here in 2021, when we break below the SMA right here, we're probably gonna, go down here, find a bottom. We're gonna bounce back up. People will think the bull runs.
This is the thing. The data, this one is during the lawsuit. So how can you trust this data when XRP was still below $1 and then going for another prime bull run? There was so much stuff wrong in 2022 that caused the recession, right? So this is the important factor. I'm not hyped to buy it. I just want to look at the data. I want something objective.
Back in motion, but we're not going to break the 50-week SMA, and eventually we're going to find our bottom in the bull market following that. We have yet to see the bounce yet. We're just finding our bottom right now. I mean, we did get a little bounce right here, but we did not.
I mean, I would say the 1.87 was the bottom, but I could be totally wrong.
Test anywhere near the moving average. So we're going to see how this plays out. I do expect us to, bounce somewhere around in the $2 range. When we do get that bounce, and then we're going to continue on to the bear market. So that's essentially what I am preparing for here. Now, XRP is not the only cryptocurrency where we've seen this phenomena. We've also seen this with Bitcoin. If we look at the Bitcoin chart, what we can clearly see is right here, the 50-week SMA, we broke below this in 2022, and then we found our bottom in the bear market right there. And
so let us zoom out over here and check if this is true. So if we go under one, I guess like we could go to a daily time frame. All right, so it's obviously not working, but it just looking at the data over here, to me, it just feels like that from the data we have right now, right? And if you look at the previous like years, so for example, like 2017, if we look back in the past, XRP only stayed above $3 only for a few weeks at a time. It didn't stay, you know, long forever. So I'm 20% here long. So I will just close this position right now because I feel like 20% is good enough at this point. 2.5 to 5 cents at 2.11, that would be amazing. But we made some pretty good bets here, 6%, 16% profit and loss. It's fine enough to close it. Could just keep it open for a bit longer.
Once again today, well, we broke below it. There it is. And we can see, of course, right here, we broke below it. We found our bottom. This is something that's happened very consistently every single bear market, every single bull market for Bitcoin. And once we get a clean break of the moving average, well, that's when we generally break those all-time highs following. As we've seen right here, when we broke above this moving average in 2023, as we saw over here, when we broke above this moving average in 2020,
So yeah, again, these were such different time frames, such different volume that I was saying for quite some time. So I could just close this position actually. We saw a big short over here. I could have taken a 20% profit, but it does seem right now that, you know, some big whale decided to sell everything and then they decided to bounce back, make a higher top.
Shortly thereafter, of course, we did hit.
Like, this is the important factor here. You go from basically 2.3 to 2.5. It doesn't tell enough data. But also, if you take a look, you know, data from 4 years ago, in a crypto space was very much different time. So it's not enough to tell you. In my personal opinion, it's just not the thing. Like, a lot of people look at the data right now. They're like, sure, let's keep going up. And honestly, I think we can hit 2.11 cents. That's when I'm going to be closing my position.
At those new highs in 2021. And so what does any of this have to do with quantitative tightening? Well, the short answer is absolutely everything. If we go back to 2020, 2019, right?
I mean, I watched Levi a lot, and quantitative tightening is cool, but the issue here is it's already priced in. You know, I feel like a lot of the whales, yeah, will buy a massive supply. Maybe they're stocking up now at $2.
Here, quantitative tightening was also ending around this period of time, guys. Quantitative tightening ended. You know, we found our bottom. We broke above the moving average, and then quantitative easing started. And then guess what? We hit those all-time highs. And so I do think we're going to see something very similar here leading into 2026. And so I also want to show you guys some historical accounts of what's happened to the price of crypto following quantitative tightening ending. So we can see the QT period right here that I want to focus on first is 2017 to 2019. The end date was July 31st, 2019. 30 days following quantitative tightening ending, Bitcoin actually went down in price, a decent amount, as did Ethereum. And then, of course, leading into 2020, 2021, that is eventually when we got the next bull run and we hit the new all-time highs.
I mean, yeah, but we also expected 2025 November to be like one of those massive rallies. And look what we got in the end. We got, like, you know, November is canceled. December is slightly bullish. It just doesn't make any sense at all. A lot of the whales have sold if you look at the data. So quantitative tightening is coming when? December 1st. So yeah, we did get a price increase from 2.2 to 2.5. That was the price increase from December 1st. Actually, the December 1st price increase was from, let me check. What was the bottom for December 1st? December 1st, we went from 1.98, so we went up 7 cents, if that tells you something from the quantitative tightening, which could happen.
Yes, the bear markets are pretty much always shorter than the bull markets, guys. And what causes the bull markets to really hit those highs is quantitative easing. And so that's why I think 2026.
So look at this position, 20% up. 20%, literally 20%, because if you trust yourself, if you look at the data And not this data, not YouTubing, because I like news, don't get me wrong. I like news, but they're not enough. You got to look at the charts, then you are in the positive. You are in the like green, basically.
Is going to be a crazy time because, well, we go back to July of 2019. Let's go take a look. Right here, guys. Boom. We hit that quantitative tightening. It ends. You know, we go down. You know, we just barely break it. We find our bottom right here at a $5,000 Bitcoin in 2020. When did the Fed announce QE? In 2020. Let's take a look at that. March 15, 2020. First emergency move. The Fed cuts rates and announced $700 billion in QE. March 15th. I want you guys to remember this date. We look right here. Right following us hitting these bottoms. This also, by the way, decimated the S&P. We announced the QE, and then the rally starts within the following months, guys. We announced it in March. We go to April. The price starts to climb, right? More rate cuts happen. More stimulus happens. The price keeps...
This would be nice, but I think this is going to be delayed until like potentially June, July. So when it happens in June, July, great, but it's not going to be before that. Maybe we're going to be seeing some sort of a downtrend. This is just a short bump we're seeing right now.
Once we do that, much like what happened back in 2021 for XRP, much like what happened back in 2021 and 2017 for Bitcoin, we're likely to find our bottom once we fail that, if we do fail that. But if we break above and hold above, bull market can continue. I'm just saying that is not likely based off of all of the historical data that we have. Also, factoring in rate cuts and quantitative easing. You can see there was lots of stimulus that we had in 2020, and that's truly what allowed us to hit these numbers. I think the craziest thing about everything that we're seeing right here with Bitcoin and XRP, this bull run, is we were tightening. We had quantitative tightening this entire bull market, guys. So if I am indeed correct...
I mean, I think the main issue is there just isn't enough retail to push out. Look what happens when we talk about the big whales. My profit, my trade is now 25% up. So if I had a $1,000 position, that would be $250. Absolutely amazing trade I just made. And also the trading bots I opened yesterday based on my indicator, link description below, for a free XRP bonus over here to win 2,500 XRP. Trading volume 1 million and 90 XRP. So a very important factor here, guys, is look, I'm 30% up. A lot of the whales, when we talk about the whales, is just simply that. It's noise. It's most of the whales right now are not retail. They are big institutions buying tons and tons of XRP, and they're going to sell it.
Like the pandemic checks, the stimulus...
I'm actually 30% up on my trade, which is just incredible. And this one is 9 up as well, which is amazing.
Stimulus checks. The tariff dividends, they're going to come through. So this is realistically all we need to wait for. This is the connection between QE, QT, moving averages, and XRP. If you found this information helpful, if you thought that it was interesting, please let me know. Smash the like button. And also, if you want to get access to this dashboard where I have all these amazing charts and tools.
So yeah, guys, I'll keep you updated on this one. Let's do XRP price update. This is the stuff I want to see. XRP price update. I like videos like this as well. So I watched clinics for a lot of these XRP price updates, not just use itself. So be careful to
basically at the same levels.
So clinics is someone I've been watching. But yeah, my position is still open at 28% on 2-bit. I will close it shortly. I'm on the 1 minute time frame. So that's a pretty important factor. 26%. I feel like 26% is just fine, just to show you guys that it's possible. I know I said it would go 2.11, but I am fine taking my trades here. I'm guessing I could take more profit at 2.11. Well, it went through. And I could also close this one, but I'm just going to keep it open just in case the markets improve a bit. Like right now, we're seeing a huge drop because this is like a future bonus. So this is a great way. This is actually the bigger trade. This is what, $60? $60 position, and I'm $1.5 up.
However, we have some major XRP ETF news that I want to very much talk about.
Yeah.
I think it's a very bullish development on its own, but especially also a bullish development when you compare it to some of the other ETF flows we have seen in the last 24 hours. And we'll talk about the technicals, but ultimately the technical situation for XRP has also not changed a lot. The fundamental situation around the markets, right?
So yeah, this is a very good technical indicator. Basically, the fundamentals are the same. Everything is the same. The whales are still buying. It's just that there's not enough demand to push it back to 3.66. If you look at 3.66, a lot of the whales and a lot of retail was there, like watching XRP, doing XRP. They still do that, but the prices are going down, and now a lot of people are pissed off.
I would argue, at least, if you look at the daily time frame, is still bullish as well. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. First, let's talk about some fundamentals for XRP specifically. So not those boring market-wide fundamentals, but XRP ETF fundamentals. Before we do that, I do want to briefly tell you that if you hear my, like, if I sound a little bit nasal and if you hear me sniffing a little, I have some sort of an infection, which is not amazing. There's this pain in my chest, which also makes these videos a little bit harder to record. I'll be fine, but please bear with me if you do find those irritating, those symptoms. But for now, let's talk about the good things in life. Good thing in life is the following. If we look at ETF inflows right now,
I mean, the ETF inflows, they are good, don't get me wrong, but they're nothing like what we expected. People were talking about billions and billions of trading, and trading volume, billions, same as Bitcoin, but we got just millions, right? So we need more ETF inflows to really see the price go up.
Yesterday, XRP had inflows again of about, wait, this was actually, it was a little bit higher. It actually showed other data about a little bit earlier ago. I'm not sure what went on there, because I tweeted this morning about $90 million of inflows for XRP.
And again, 19 million is almost nothing in my opinion. Like, if XRP has 1.4 billion, 2 billion volume per day, 22 million is nothing.
Not correct. It's showing right now that it's less, which it does change my perspective a little bit on XRP. But ultimately right now, they still had about $22 million of inflows for the XRP ETF, which I would say is bullish, especially given the fact that if you look at all the other inflows, for Solana, for example, those were negative. For Ethereum, those were negative. You can see that right here.
It could be also because the ETFs were just posted right now today. Like, a lot of ETFs are coming in and there's still ETF hype. You know, XRP, Bitcoin, those ETFs were for some time. So, of course, it's not the same hype. Maybe some people are just buying the ETFs just for fun.
And for Bitcoin, I would argue maybe they were positive. But yeah, Bitcoin had some very mild positive inflows. But ultimately, it boiled down to less in dollars than XRP. So we're continuing to see that fundamental growth, or at least that fundamental strength for XRP. This is a little bit of a risk because I did not look this up before the video. But one of the key fundamental things that I liked a lot about Ripple as well is that we saw the RLUSD growth, which at this point of time is still going on in the last.
Again, a very, very small price change that would be. On long term, this is bullish. But on the short term, not so much. Again, I feel like we're breaking some sort of barriers here. Some people are taking profit, so there's no need to short. But I'm actually feeling pretty safe because my trade was so positive to short a bit further on this one. So we could just open a short over here. Very small one, though. Actually, maybe it's better that we don't even take a short because we didn't take a stop loss. That's the number one thing we should have done. So I might just close that anyway. Because as you can see, for some reason, my market is crashing. Look, absolutely terrible. I didn't open a stop loss. And then you try to flash close and you're already like 4% down. It's terrible.
We had about a 2% growth. Last month, it's up about 30%. So that's amazing as well. So the fundamentals are good for
That's
XRP.
Absolutely amazing.
Like I said,
I tried to keep pressing it like to stop and it just wouldn't stop for some reason, which is my bad because maybe I have so many tabs open, but it definitely shows you that always use a stop loss, guys. Always. And that was a stupid trade from my side as well. I'm still waiting for XRP to hit higher highs, maybe 2.11. This is my main trade open, so we're doing like $10 challenge. Actually, $50 challenge account. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how far we can go with $50. And we have the trading bot. We can later check on that, but first we got to focus on the fundamentals. This is not helping the prices enough.
Growth, which at this point of time is still going on. In the last week, we had about a 2% growth. Last month, it's up about 30%, so that's amazing as well. So the fundamentals are good for XRP. Like I said, on the higher time frames, we're holding the most important level we have right here at $2, right? $2 is, first of all, a very respected level on the higher time frame.
This is what I agree. $2 is awesome. Look at the prices going up. I actually feel bad for closing that 30-cent trade. Could have kept it more open. I still feel we're going to 2.11, but I just kind of fear at opening that because I already have this one open anyway.
As you can see, has provided support numerous times over the last year. And we still have a bit of ammo left lower. And $2 is also a psychological level. But what I mean with that ammo left lower is that if you really zoom in on XRP right here, and this is a different chart, which is very interesting as well. But if you look at XRP right here, like the initial reaction we've had to this single print right here at $2 has not been amazing. Like, we haven't seen a lot of new momentum coming in from that level, which is ideally something you do want to see, but we have held it, and we still have some
just closing above $2. I think 187, as I said, is the line.
Imbalances, some strong single prints and a naked point of control here in the area between 1.92 and 1.98 that we have not touched yet, which do I expect us to touch those levels? I think it's a possibility. I wouldn't necessarily expect us to touch those areas because there is some new bullish pressure coming into Bitcoin through the fundamentals. But ultimately, we still have that, right? And that can only be a good thing. So with or without that spike down, I think we're holding this general support. I think we have the fundamental reasons to expect some sort of a move.
So did this happen? This actually, I feel like it almost happened. We went with 1.9. I don't know if we're going to even touch 1.9 at this point. As I said, I'm agreeing with Clinics here. We're going to push up to 2.2, maybe even 2.4. Like, we're definitely going to push up to 2.5. This is why I should kept the long open. You know, it's going absolutely bonkers up to 7 cents now. I'm still keeping a trade open, which is up 10%. So that's the important factor here.
To the upside as well. And then the big test for XRP is going to be this level right here at 2.14 and 2.16. That's the top of the fair value gap that we left yesterday, or in the
This is when a huge whale took like a sale.
Night from Sunday to Monday.
Yeah, so I made $6 today with the trading bot. So it's obviously, I'm going to keep him open and just let it do its own thing.
We have the 7-day rolling VWAP, and that's also when we're talking about last week's structure. That's also the value area low. So if we get a pretty strong rejection there, that could turn out to be bearish on the higher time frames for XRP. But for now, short term, I think we're holding support, and I think we can rally into that. So I have nothing left to say in regards to the short term. Long term, I'll talk to you when it's a little bit more relevant, or when we have a little bit more information regarding that. So keep an eye out.
I mean, yeah, it does go completely as he's predicted. Bitcoin's going up, XRP is going up. It's just the most important factor. So yeah, it gives you the clear idea of what's going on here. 2.7 is absolutely amazing. You know, it is going maybe further, 2.20. We need to see what happens next with this. But yeah, I would kind of agree with that. I mean, it's exactly as I predicted. I don't agree we're going to 1.9. So who knows about that. We do have Ethereum update. What's happening with Ethereum? I'm just curious really fast.
Yesterday, what that means for the price action today. We'll talk about ETF inflows for Ethereum, which we have some meaningful things to talk about. And we'll talk about important levels that we need to hold. I mean, in all honesty, at this point of time, like what I've said for Ethereum, I think yesterday as well, or at least I was thinking a little bit like yesterday, I'm not certain.
I mean, Ethereum ETFs, they've been a bit understated the past few years, which was a bit sad, but at least we see the prices not being $2,000 anymore. I mean, that's what I'm sad about.
If I said that we were going to drop down into this level right here at 2,750, which was the last naked point of control, right? I mean, when we were consolidating here at the top last week, we had 3 major naked points of control, which usually get tested. One at 2,940, that got tested very, very quickly. One at 2,830, tested very quickly as well. And then the last one at 2,750.
Yeah. So it's keeping building like those momentums. It seems like institutions are coming in as well, which kind of makes sense. Was about time. Let me do my own price analysis as well for XRP here. I mean Ethereum, not XRP. Yeah, you know, like I don't want to see $1,000 like Ethereum yet, but it just got dumped over 5,000. So it does seem like we're going through these two ranges. $4,000, $4,000, and then Ethereum is another factor here. Where do we go? Ethereum is like the bottom was $1,200, and this was this year. Can you imagine, guys, $1,500 for Ethereum in 2025? Like, what is going on with Ethereum? I mean, I'm just hoping like it goes home finally. So yeah, it does seem like sort of, you know, a downtrend momentum, basically. If you look over here, downtrend momentum, obvious downtrend momentum, Pam. So very, very sad to see that for Ethereum. But again, it just needs a push from Bitcoin,
which we have dropped down all the way into earlier yesterday, and so far we've been able to hold that. So that's good. That was also to be expected, but ultimately dropping down all the way to the last naked point of control right there is a bearish sign, right? I mean, if Ethereum would be bullish, it would have found support right here at either the first or the second one, and we would have found strong support there, which we didn't, and we would have rallied up. So generally, the situation for Ethereum is not amazing. Like I still do think, and that is what I've said for the last couple of days as well, and for the last week, I still do think that Ethereum is forming a local bottom right here, right? So if we zoom all the
yeah. So could this local bottom? I think it could be like even $2,000. $2,000 for the local bottom isn't so bad. Like you can see here, obviously people were buying at 2,000, like it was just trading sideways. Bam, goes a bit further down, right? Until suddenly, like we see all these whales buy it back up.
the way out. Let me quickly fix my charts here. If we zoom all the way out, I do think this support level that we have found earlier between 2,700 and 2,800, not specifically, but that's the general area. I do think from there we can find some more support than what we've seen so far. So far, we've gotten a move into the yearly rolling VWAP, which is a very strong resistance level. So it's definitely not nothing, and it's not strange that we found such strong resistance there, but I do think we can move into that again. I think we can consolidate down here a little bit, and I think we can potentially get a move into 3,200. I said that for the entire last week. I still do believe that. However, I do think generally the technical development that we've seen, the price action that we've seen from Ethereum is bearish, more bearish than expected. And ultimately what we're also seeing is that the fundamentals around the markets...
Yeah, this is what I'm scared of. Like, but could it change around maybe June, July? Obviously, it's not going to be this year. This year has been an absolute disaster for Ethereum, unfortunately. And trust me, I do love Ethereum, so it's sad. It's sad to see that.
Are also not amazing. If you look at ETF inflows, we've had outflows of about $80 million yesterday.
Yeah, so whales are selling. I mean, all these bullish news we're getting for ETH, and this is happening.
Very much driven by grayscale, which is something that doesn't always happen, but that is the place obviously where a lot of selling pressure can be expected from. That's also the main place where we got a lot of selling pressure from when the Ethereum ETF launched. This will be critical to watch to see if we actually continue to get outflows, which would be very bearish. Then
we need those whales back. Like retail is out. That's the main issue with XRP. Like, look at how much it exploded, like 2021. Can we ever get this retail back? If not, it's going to be a problem. Bam. Immediately 2022, I can't even believe XRP bottom at 9.37 in 2022. It's sad. It's sad to see that, but yeah, it really pains me to see. I'm definitely hoping more of them are going to join, more of the XRP ETFs, but I mean Ethereum ETFs. But
yesterday, eventually
I kind of agree with that as well. I have to agree with all of his price analysis anyway.
We formed value between 2,760 and 2,880, fall down below 2,760, and it becomes much more likely that this is not going to be the bottom and that we're going to drop down into the next support level, which would be this area right here around 2,500, which would be another drop of about, what is it, like 15% or so. 10%. So that is not what we want. Ultimately, given the way that the fundamentals look, the general markets, the general financial market fundamentals, so that I'm talking about unrest, I'm talking about the S&P 500, I'm talking about a few relevant fundamentals for Bitcoin, which Ethereum is obviously very, very correlated to. Given those, I would still say it's most likely that we will be able to get a good reaction here and that we will be able to get some more recovery.
We're also waiting for Bitcoin
Into 2880 and into 2930. There we have a single print. We have the point of control of the first move down yesterday, high volume move. We have the 7-day rolling VWAP. I think upside for now is capped there. I don't think we are strong enough, especially with the ETF.
I mean, a lot of people are saying quantitative tightening, but I don't see it. If we didn't see XRP, I mean, Ethereum breaking 6,000 is going to be hard.
Like I said at the start of the video, but that is not something I would trade because of at this point of time, right?
It's risky when we catch the falling knife, basically.
If that makes sense. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know regarding Ethereum at this point of time. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. For now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.
I do agree with that actually here, that this is the most important factor we have for XRP. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just gonna stop this stream. I'm gonna make a thumbnail.